is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today we're discussing The Santa Class, which originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, December 14th. And you should absolutely be following us on Instagram because as this episode airs, we are airport bound, Kansas City bound. We are flying the friendly skies.
Wheels up on Girls Gone Hallmark.
I'm so excited. I cannot even tell you.
What are you excited about?
Not-
I know. He's going to have like security. He's going to be like, Megan and Wendy,
We're
those
not
chicks
like
need to
that.
stay away.
We're not like that. No, I was going to say not being home.
Oh, interesting.
I think don't you need like a little pre-holiday break?
I do need a pre-holiday break, but I'm also not ready for the holidays.
You're not?
So, no.
I was gift wrapping in my garage until 10:30 p.m. last night.
Oh, that's awful.
I know, but I just needed to get it done.
Yeah. Wow. It's impressive. Were you on the ground standing?
No,
Do
we
you
have a
use the
pool table.
Nice.
It's
like your workspace, right?
Yeah, it's a big open space and it's easy to just leave all the wrapping supplies out there. Mm-hmm. So that's typically where we wrap as opposed to like the dining room table or whatever.
Yeah, then you don't have to bring all the stuff like
Yeah.
in and out. Yeah.
I mean, it's not glamorous out there, but
Sure.
gets the job done.
Hey, join our Facebook group. It's called Girls Gone Hallmark. Now, if you're in there, Megan put a nice, gentle PSA out a few days ago.
I was like, what's happening here? Yeah. I just reminded people the group has surpassed 1,000 members, and Wendy and I see everybody coming into the group. So we know who's in there. And Facebook group membership is not private. It's not a secret. But I think people think like you're in a Facebook group. This is my safe space. I just reminded people that there are many members of the Hallmark community from like people that work directly for Hallmark, writers, directors, actors are part of that group. And so like say what you want, like share your opinion. I think those are all valuable, but just remember it's not like a secret place where no one is ever going to see your comments if you're worried about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's all.
You know, I thought it was a great reminder, and then I had to laugh because Facebook member Georgia was like, "Let it rip, people. tell Hallmark how you feel." And I was like, "You do you, Georgia."
Well, and then the very next day, Hallmark did reverse course on a major decision and credited Hallmark Facebook groups.
You're
in the
convinced
article.
it's ours.
I'm just convinced that it's groups in general that had an effect.
There's
So-
lots of groups. There's The Way Home has a
Sure,
Facebook
there's
group.
groups that are much larger than ours. I understand that. I'm just saying people airing their grievances. Change happened.
Change has happened. Look at that.
Your voice matters.
Your voice matters. You're so funny. Okay, what else is there? Hey, we're going to be taking a little podcast break. You guys aren't going to see the difference, but we are going to see the difference.
Episodes are still coming at you fast and furious.
Episodes are still coming at you. I know Megan just made an image. I don't know if it's going to be posted yet about what the schedule looks like for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I called it our winter break schedule because
We're on winter break, y'all.
we are on winter break, but there are episodes coming. We are doing a holidays marathon. We are doing our final Countdown to Christmas review, which is Trading Up Christmas. And we are doing a Countdown to Christmas top 5 wrap up. And so while will be a little bit quieter behind the scenes, we actually have quite a bit of stuff to work on, but we're not recording podcasts. We got you covered.
Yes, we'll be in your feeds.
We will.
All right, let's talk about the Santa Class.
I can't wait. Let's hear a
Are you
synopsis.
ready? Kate North, the owner of a struggling Santa school, and her instructor Dan must help an amnesia-stricken Santa Claus regain his memories to save Christmas and hopefully her school as well.
Just occurred to me that that's why the school is called the North Star Santa Academy.
Me too. That's why I don't know if you heard me pause
I
after I
did.
said Kate North. I was like, oh, Okay.
The Santa Claus was directed by Lucy Guest. Lucy has been the director to watch this year, having directed Christmas Under the Lights as well as Jingle Bell Run for a total of 17 directing credits. She is also appearing in the series Holidays as one of the Minetti Hanahans.
Russell Hainline wrote The Santa Claus. Russell has 7 total writing credits, 4 of which are movies that premiered this season. In addition to The Santa Claus, he's had Hot Frosty, Three Wiser Men and a Boy, and Christmas Under the Lights.
Alexander Kuskus and Joseph Kelbley both received story credits for this movie.
Kimberly Sustad stars as Kate. Kimberly has 49 acting credits and appeared in this year's The Real West, Three Wiser Men and a Boy, as well as Aurora Teagarden's Mysteries, Death at the Diner.
Benjamin Ayers plays Dan. This is Benjamin's 104th acting credit. This year, he's also in Happy Holidays from Cherry Lane, as well as Santa Tell Me. 3 starring roles?
Have you watched any of the Cherry Lane movies?
I have not yet.
Planning on it? Question mark? Question mark?
Probably.
I watched the first one. You would hate it. Alessandro Miro plays Blaze. This appears to be Alessandro's first Hallmark movie in his 48 acting credits. Are you judging me on how I said his name?
No.
Alessandro?
I think you did.
Alessandro.
I think you did both. First of all, both of those sounded exactly the same to me. And I think you did great.
Great.
Lindsay Winch plays Bailey. Lindsay has 10 acting credits and was last seen in 2021's The Santa Stakeout.
Trevor Lerner plays Nick. Trevor has 75 acting credits. He's a regular on Virgin River, and he appeared in last year's Holiday Road on Hallmark.
Graham McComb plays Timothy. Graham has 25 acting credits and a slew of Hallmark mystery appearances like Curious Caterer, Foiled Plans, and Crime Time, Freefall.
Ryan Bell plays Isaac. Ryan has 94 acting credits. Most recently on Hallmark, he has been in Tipline Mysteries, Dial 1 for Murder, and Holiday Road.
Carmel Amit appears as Megan. Carmel has 66 acting credits and was last seen on Hallmark in Field Day and A Fabled Holiday. She also appeared alongside fellow Hallmark actress Alicia Witt in Longlegs.
Oh, I heard that was so scary. Gary Jones plays Bruce. Gary has 92 acting credits, which includes 112 episodes of Stargate SG-1.
Paul Campbell plays himself. Paul has 56 acting credits, including this year's Three Wiser Men and a Boy, Falling Together, and The Cases of Mystery Lane. Death is Listening. Let's take a quick break and come back with First Impressions. What's your first impression of the Santa Claus, Wendy?
Say Paul Campbell one more time.
My first impression is let's just let Russell Hainline write all of the movies.
Man, Russell, killing it.
Let's talk what we like.
Okay, can I start?
Yeah.
From the jump, an animated opening.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Very Jingle Bell Run reminiscent.
Here is now. We've been saying it for a long time. If you have an interesting opening, you're going to get a better movie.
Automatic 1-star added on my end. Totally. I actually wrote in my review notes for Hanukkah on the Rocks, I wrote -1 star for boring intro. I didn't include it in my review because it's not actually relevant, but it doesn't take anything away to not have it. But
do you have a rubric?
No.
Oh my God, you should. We should make one.
Pure vibes, baby. But like it adds to it when the movie has it. When it doesn't have it, I'm just like, eh. But when it has it, boom.
I agree with you.
There's some really funny dialogue, like right out the gate.
Yes.
When Kimberly's character, I'm just going to call them Kim and Ben, when Kate runs into Dan for the first time outside the coffee shop and she calls his car an overcompensation mobile, which by the way, it's a Chevy Traverse, which is a literal soccer mom car. But I was like, it's
like a Lamborghini
or like a G-Wagon.
G-Wagon would have been hilarious if they had that budget.
Make it a truck. But the fact that it's like a 7-seater SUV just made me laugh. And then said dress like a literal red flag.
Oh, God, that was good.
So funny.
Yeah, that was good. I agree with you. There were some really funny lines when Ben, what's his name in this movie?
Dan.
Dan, when he's talking about E.T.,
Yes.
when she's like, we gotta call the police. He's like, no. It was so funny. Okay, so I want to talk about Ben Ayers for a minute.
Are you an Ayers fan?
Dude, I think so. Like, I was trying to think, I'm like, what's the last movie I've seen him in? I think it was Field Day. Might have been the last one I've seen him in.
Santa Tell Me.
Oh, yeah, he was great in that too, but he wasn't like a leading role in that. But you're right, he was great in that. But I'm talking about like a leading role.
Sure.
I didn't see Miracle in Bethlehem last year.
No.
I think Field Day was in the fall last year, I think. Anyway, he's so freaking funny. He's
Yeah.
so good at the comedy stuff. I love it. He needs to be in more because he was very funny in Santa Tell Me as well.
We made a comment to director Jeff Beasley about Miracle in Bethlehem, about that being, I don't know if it made the final cut. I think it was after we had stopped recording, but we said something about like, you know, that's an interesting pairing with like Benjamin Ayers in a role that's pretty like even keeled. And Jeff was like, yeah, he unevened it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It just made me laugh. I'm so glad you've come over.
He's so funny.
He's
yeah.
so fun. And I don't know. Oh, God, this is like a Palaha Ayers fan account now.
Maybe.
I don't know if you saw, but like his interactions on the cruise, I think were really like fun and warm and genuine. Like he made an effort to like get out and meet people. And he was like in the cruise Facebook group trying to find out like,
oh, yeah.
you know,
you're
what the
right.
people wanted.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed the pairing between him and Kimberly Sustad too. I thought their comedy is so good together.
So good. And then as a romantic pairing, they had some pretty nice chemistry.
Dude.
When she like jumps him in the car, it's so great.
Well, it's like the 1-2 punch. They're outside when they have like their first kiss. He like goes and touches her face. And the way he's looking at her so
I
intensely, it was
know.
so good. And then they have this kiss, and then the next morning she picks him up for like carpool, and then like bam! I was like, that was so great to me because like you don't get that on Hallmark.
No.
Never.
I
It's always
loved
like,
it.
oh, we've had this awkward kiss and now we're getting married, you know? Instead of now that we got this hot sexual chemistry and we can't keep our hands off each other. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that a lot.
Leave it to Russell Hainline to write this ensemble that each character has their own fun, funny bits. Too much for Wendy.
Maybe.
Like the terrible ventriloquist, Bruce.
Uh-huh.
I know you hated it. When he like reaches out and he's like, give me your hand. And his they're not called puppets. They're called something else. Because don't you remember like the judge comes out and she like
She
whips
had
out
one,
hers?
too.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Look, Megan, when she says, if anyone wants to rumble, I'm in. I haven't been in a bar fight in weeks. Carmel Amit, the last time we saw her, she was like this
And Field Day.
PTA mom.
Yeah.
And now she's like, I'll F you up.
I enjoyed her too. Look, the ensemble was a lot for me personally. I get that you need like a big, large, diverse because you were at a school, right? And all these people are there. But for me, I'm going to talk more about it in my wish shows. But I did think that Trevor Lerner as Nick / Santa Claus was perfect casting. So good. He was like warm and he had this heartfelt presence and like he cared about all these people. It was like he truly embodied like Santa, right?
Yeah, I love that this movie that's very clearly a comedy has this like lovely moment of Christmas magic.
Yes.
Because I do think that's maybe what we've been lacking a little bit in Countdown to Christmas is some Christmas magic moments. And I love, you know, Santa Tell Me actually had that too. I love some holiday magic.
I have a few more likes.
Yeah.
Again, it was a weekend of snappy dialogue. Good job. Great inside Hallmark jokes. And there were some really funny like chuckle moments throughout. We talked about them. I really enjoyed Paul Campbell's scenes. I thought they were pretty funny. Before the movie, like when they were showing it, like a preview, I was like, Paul Campbell's in this? I was like, that seems like a pretty big cameo to be sharing in this preview. But then we learned that he's playing himself very funny.
That was a surprise to me. The way that was handled, first of all, they hide Paul Campbell's face throughout all of the Santa introductions. Like you can kind of see his profile, but like if you don't know that he's there, you don't know that he's there. And when he introduces, hi, I'm Paul Campbell. So good.
Based out of Vancouver, British Columbia. I died.
Oh my gosh. When he pitches Handsome Santa in his like red suit, I was like, first of all, we all know
John Brotherton.
John Brotherton. The callback to his Three Wiser Men characters and his Battlestar Galactica and his me, I'm the third wise man. Like it's the ultimate. Did you see that moment?
Yeah.
I thought it was really well played. Like I thought he really went for it in those moments.
Agree. I slid into the DMs for Russell.
Yeah.
Russell Hanley. We're friends.
Our friend Russ.
You guys go back and listen to that interview we did with him. Anyway, I was like, yo, like, how did this Paul Campbell thing like come together? And basically he said what?
He tweeted something about like he getting Paul Campbell to play himself. Let me read the tweet.
Okay.
Russell tweeted, fewer happier days of 2024 than the day I learned Paul Campbell agreed to play the character of Paul Campbell. And I think, you know, Paul Campbell is a writer himself. And so I think we can see some Paul Campbell influences in his
for
character
sure.
with the lines.
Yeah.
When he says like, what? You got Andrew Walker to play that role? I loved it.
That was funny. Very good. One final thing I really liked. Kudos to either, I don't know if it's directing or editing, but I thought the music that was used was really good. Transitions between scenes were really good. Montages were really good. And the one that like got me right in the gut was when Santa got his memories back and he remembered all this. And when Mrs. Claus came and like he finally like got him. It's good.
Yeah, that was really good. I think hat tip to Lucy Guest for that one.
I think so too, because there were a lot of scenes like up at the top when Ben is talking to Kim and he's trying to convince her why he should like come work for them, right? And he's like, I just want to see kids and the magic. And then she's like, did you really just go there? It just was funny because the music was like swelling at this point, like this Christmas music. I just thought it was really executed nicely.
Mm-hmm. Ready for wishes?
I am. Do you have any?
Well, only that I'm very unclear how this business actually makes money and survives.
Yes.
And I'm also unclear how the Christmas Cup matters other than like their egos. Like there doesn't appear to be a large cash prize attached.
I have those same concerns too. Winning the competition didn't seem to change anything for the school or the business. Like not that we saw. Like they were so like excited about it, but then like they win, but then what?
Yeah.
How does it help save their school?
I don't know.
Other than like it becomes like a prestigious place to go to because they won the competition. I don't get that part. To me, it was obvious like Kate disliked her job. Like obviously we see it early in the early part of the movie when it was like 10 years ago, whatever, because she was ready to bounce. It's unclear to me why she feels obligated to stay. I don't understand.
Even though like it's her father's dream, like that doesn't feel like enough for you
No.
to feel obligated to stay.
Interesting. Also, when Dan stumbles across the purchase agreement, he's like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, bro, it's none of your business.
You just work here.
Yeah, like you don't deserve any sort of like.
It's just also she hasn't done anything. It's just an offer. Like
It's
someone
just
sent her an offer to buy the business. She doesn't owe you
an offer.
anything.
Yes. Okay. So then back to the premise. I love the idea of the Santa school, like, but I also thought this movie leaned into Hallmark trope land. For example, we have enemies to lovers. We have a big corporation trying to buy out a small family business, the mall trying to buy the whatever. Okay. And then we have this like high stakes competition, like where everything depends on winning, but like we don't really understand how that works.
I just think Russell Hainline loves a Hallmark movie, and he's like, I'm gonna make the ultimate Hallmark movie.
Sure. I mean, kudos to him for thinking of a Santa school. I'm surprised they haven't like
I know.
done that yet.
And incorporating like the real Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was so funny. I was thinking about this. I was like, would this have been a totally different movie if it was like on Netflix, right? Like it could have been a Netflix movie, but then all those fun like Hallmark nuances would not have worked. in that
No,
movie if
not
it
at
was-
all. They
no.
could have made like generalizations about Christmas movies, but I think this movie works best as a Hallmark movie. Like when Paul Campbell's like, I starred in 35 of these when they're like having to name Christmas movies.
Yeah. You can't
It's
do that.
No.
The other one little wish I had, it's about the ensemble. I had a hard time like connecting with some of those characters, the other Santas. And I think it's just because it was a large cast plus a short movie.
Yes.
Those you don't get to really like learn anything about them except for like a couple. I was trying to like compare it to the Santa Summit last year, kind of an ensemble as well. Of that ensemble are like 2 or 3 of them like mains. Like you learn more about them than the others, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, and then the puppet creeped me out. I know, hashtag no fun.
Oh.
I don't, puppets scare me. I don't like any of that stuff. So I just thought it was weird.
Does it help that Bruce is a terrible ventriloquist?
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. Okay, that's all my wishes.
I do want to say that Sleepy Kitty Paw was joking around this morning about like if anybody needs, not joking really, but if any movie needs an extended cut, it's this one.
Oh, I love that.
Russell was responding like, speaking into existence, basically. Like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Put this on Hallmark Plus or, and then on linear. Show us some director's cut.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. Back to the Cruise. When they should have a director's cut movie and the director and some of the cast sitting there and stop it and talk about it. Like, wouldn't that be great?
I'd love that.
It'd be so fun.
Like the commentary you get on DVDs back when DVDs were a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Did you see that?
I have one.
Okay.
Earlier you mentioned that Alexandre Koskas received story credit for this movie.
Yeah.
And this person's name was on the realtor sign when the dad's house was for sale.
That is absolutely correct. Some more did you see that's in that vein from correspondent Mike, who points out when Kate opens her email, many of the emails are, according to Mike, people who work in the art department, either at Hallmark or in the film industry.
Wait, how does he know that?
I don't know how all these people have all of their information. He says there's a Paul Turner and Elliot Neck who are listed on IMDb as being in the art department. Nevin Burkholder and Agatha Chan have actually worked in the art department for Hallmark films.
Is Mike doing the legwork here on this?
100%. He says, makes me wonder if the first 2 are now working on Hallmark films, but maybe haven't yet been credited on IMDb, or maybe they are mentors. But that seems to be a Hallmark staple, people putting their colleagues' names whenever they show us a document or a computer screen. They also did that in Our Holiday Story and named a building after a Hallmark craft worker in Paging Mr. Darcy.
Interesting. Well, I will say that I'm proud of myself for noticing the realtor sign.
Yeah. Sleepy
didn't-
Kitty Paw posted about that too.
Oh,
I did
really?
not catch it. Yeah. A couple of things also from correspondent Mike's email that I wanted to point out. The line, my beard was in my mouth. It tasted like shopping mall floors, broken dreams, and peppermint. So good. And then he comments, so nice to see people in a Hallmark movie drinking beer instead of hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Do you think that's Russell Hainline influence? Like, his avatar is like him with like
I think he likes a good beer.
a mug of beer.
Yeah. Perhaps, I read some feedback on Hanukkah on the Rocks too. It was people were happy that
So many
there
cocktails.
were cocktails. Like, of course, cocktails
It's in a bar.
take place in a bar.
Yeah. I have 2 little adjacent to Just See That, and neither of them have anything to do with this movie, but the Hallmark promotion that was going on during the movie. We got, as far as I could tell, the first Happy Holidays promo that shows Ezra's face on a Chiron. It's Jessica Lowndes and Ezra in like a little wreath. And they also very quickly started promoting that The Way Home
Yeah.
is coming.
Somebody busted out those commercials in 24 hours.
Yes,
For The
and
Way Home.
that was promoted heavily along the bottom, that The Way Home is coming to linear, streaming next day on Hallmark Plus in January. What did you rate the Santa class?
I have a question for you before I give you my rating.
Mm-hmm.
Do I hold movies written by Russell and featuring big name actors and high profile cameos to a higher standard? Do I expect more from a Russell Heinlein movie?
Oh, do you?
I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting conversation to have. Do
Is
you?
that going to be reflected in your rating?
I gave it 4.5 stars.
As did I. I can't quite figure out why it's not 5 stars for me. I know why it's not 5 stars for you.
The tropes and the ensemble, but that's what it comes down to. All vibes, guys.
I think for me, it's like the resolution piece is a little bit rushed.
And unclear.
Yeah, I would like to have a better understanding of all of that. But
Give me a sequel.
But this was a great movie. Great to be in like the second to last weekend of Countdown to Christmas and still be getting movies that we're like enjoying watching.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. We have exactly one Countdown to Christmas review coming, and it is Trading Up Christmas coming next week. And then we're going to hit you with a Holidazed marathon. So if you have not watched those, now's the time. Get that Hallmark Plus subscription fired up because we're going to be recapping every episode over the next 2 weeks here. We're currently in Kansas City. Follow us on Instagram. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.